President Trump has said that he saved the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei from an ugly death. In a post on Truth Social, Trump claimed that U.S. forces knew exactly where Khamenei was but did not let Israel or the United States forces kill him. He further added that he had immediately dropped work on sanctions relief for Iran after Khamenei said his country had scored a victory over the United States. Trump's comments received a sharp rebuke from Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. In a post on X, Araghchi condemned Trump's statements as disrespectful and unacceptable and said that if Trump genuinely wants a deal, he should set aside his tone towards the Iranian Supreme Leader. Further, Araghchi took a jibe at Israel and said that it had no choice but to run to daddy to avoid being flattened by Iranian missiles. He further warned that Iran does not take kindly such threats or even insults. The controversy over targeting the Iranian Supreme Leader comes days after Israel's defense minister claimed that the Israeli army intended to kill Khamenei but failed to find a viable opportunity. The Iranian mission to the United Nations, in a letter addressed to the United Nations, had accused the United States and Israel of state terrorism by threatening to assassinate the Iranian Supreme Leader, calling the threats a flagrant violation of international law. The letter urged the United Nations not to normalize or diminish the gravity of such threats. Furthermore, Trump insisted that Iran wants to return to the negotiating table on its nuclear program a week after U.S. strikes on Iran's 3 nuclear facilities, including Fordo. However, Iranian Foreign Minister has denied any agreement for resumption of talks with the United States.
Iran wants to meet. As you know, their sites were obliterated. They're very evil nuclear sites. Now has been proven. We had some fake news for a little while.
President Trump has warned that he would absolutely consider bombing Iran again if intelligence indicated that Tehran was still able to enrich uranium to nuclear weapons grade. When asked in a White House press conference whether he would consider fresh airstrikes if last week's strikes were not successful in ending Iran's nuclear ambitions, Trump replied, without a question, absolutely.
If the intelligence reports conclude that Iran can enrich uranium to a level that concerns you, would you consider bombing the country again?
Without question, absolutely.
Meanwhile, a week after Trump claimed that U.S. strikes had obliterated Fordo, new satellite images have emerged which show the impact of the U.S. strikes. However, the extent of the damage still remains unclear. Iran also rejected a request by United Nations nuclear watchdog IAEA to visit its nuclear facilities bombed by the U.S. and Israel. In a post on X, Foreign Minister Araghchi called the IAEA's request meaningless and malign in intent. Araghchi hit out at IAEA chief Rafael Grossi personally for not speaking out against the Israeli and U.S. strikes, describing it as an outstanding betrayal of his duties.